HR Matters came about
2006.
Yeah, 2006. That was after 18 years of being in the corporate space, where I worked as an HR professional. Now, after 18 years of being in the corporate, I realized that I could actually do this for more than one client. So I went to business partners, and then business partners gave me this list, of mentors to choose from, and I saw, wow, Unilever MD, and I went for Rory. and that's way he came in. Yeah.
What's always struck me about Musa is that he thinks through stuff, which is, I'm not going to go and do a copy and paste or a Google search. I'm going to listen to you and design something that is bespoke to you, that is appropriate to you.
And Prashin, you were the first, one of the very, very first clients of ours.
You started in 2006, and that was the year that we engaged you.
Yes.
And now it's 2019, 13 years later, and we still engage you as and when required, and then also refer you to other organizations.
Absolutely. We cater for different markets. For talent acquisition, we've got a different market. Guys who come to us because they are looking for talent. And then we've got the consulting, which is the OD, organization development side of things, where really creativity is required. I think through the support of all of you, here it's been really great to see over the past 13 years, us being able to hold it down.
Leadership is one of the most difficult jobs in the world, because one of the most important qualities of a leader is that of empathy, because you're generally leading a diverse group of stakeholders, often with conflicting interests. And that's the part where I found you really excelled in. As being colleagues at the Durban Chamber of Commerce, where you chair the council, which I'm a member of, you're actually a leader of leaders. Because every person sitting there is a leader in their own right, and it becomes even more difficult because often you find leadership is a very egotistical thing. But this is again where your approach of empathy, of consultation, of listening has really played a big role.
One of the key characteristics that impressed me about Musa is that my dad said to me many years ago, he said, never run after money because it always runs faster than you.
Yes.
And Musa has never been that way orientated. He's always been running after a dream. And I think those drivers have led to this humbleness, the willingness to empathize, the willingness to provide.
For him, it wasn't about being in business for 4 years and then down the line, you bankrupted. He knew what he wanted and he went for, and I think those are some of the of the lessons that I have learned from him.
My grandfather always used to say, that's your best thing to have in life, is your personal brand, because that'll go through everything that you touch. And I think it speaks for HR Matters. Your approach with the leadership and management and coaching, I've seen it in action. And people want that again and again and again. One wants to be associated with the brand because there's integrity and there's a gentleman and a gentleman behind it.
Musa has a great sense of providing a service to humanity, more than just providing HR services. In all he's done, I think if you look for the AIDS, Mothers for AIDS, it's all been to help people. And that lies at the core of your leadership.
HR Matters equals People Matters, really. Yes. HR is people, and it's the relationship behind everything you do.
Us as entrepreneurs, as businessmen, as business owners, we want to differentiate ourselves. Because as a result of differentiation, we can create core competitive advantages that other companies don't have. So why do you want to go to people who have offered the same solution to 1,000 different clients, and probably about 10% of them are your competitors? So when we deal with companies like HR Matters that are renowned for the bespoke solutions, for innovation in approach to creating tailor-made solutions based on the client's needs, You know, that is what we as entrepreneurs want.
We don't do the desktop approach because
Yes.
I always find that people don't relate to something that you just put on their table and say, this is strategy, go and implement it.
Yes.
So that's why we go to the extent of making sure that we get to understand your business. We take only that which we can do. You know, if we can't do it, we can find you, however, people that can do it for you, because we do believe that we must deliver on our promise all the time.
Musa, from my perspective, what's critical in terms of when you choose to do business with a service provider, it's about what does the brand stands for. And for me, what the so-called brand DNA from HR Matters is the issues of trust and integrity. And for the 13 years that we've been cooperating and collaborating and doing business between SA Shipyards and HR Matters, I found that consistently the issues of trust and the issues of integrity remained intact. And therefore, I can say without doubt, you have a customer in life because you've delivered the service. And not only delivered the service, but delivered it beyond expectations.
The 2008 financial meltdown hit us here in South Africa in 2009.
Yes.
I remember at one point I actually had the sweat running down my face because for the first time I had to look for my CV, which I hadn't touched since I had left full-time employment. With us in recruitment and those in the restaurant business, estate agents, we know the economy. We feel it very quickly each time the economy changes. I certainly do think that the fact that we are operating out of our own office was actually a saving grace for us. Because if we were renting from someone else, they would have come knocking on the door. So I would say to anyone who's especially running the type of business that we are in, of consulting, where you are not selling goods, it's important that, where you operate from is what you own.
And he's done that, when the training center, etc., all the same. And that was the setting the ground base for you to see through those bad times.
And then we had the World Cup. Somehow, boom, March 2011, things started turning. But again, what helped us through that was strategic partnerships. Partners, business associates, that when you have something to work on, you call on board, they also call you, when things are not going well.
I also think, if I think back of HR Matters, your strategy has included growth points in different directions but focused. So you've had a plan and you've worked it through. I think that's part of success.
What impressed me was MUSA didn't go out there and say, I'm going to provide all these services. He looked at it very objectively and he said, which ones can I do that generate the revenue?
Yeah.
And then which ones can other people add value to and I can offer? And that was the secret of your success.
For me, the word is trust. Because whenever I engaged you, you delivered. Whenever I asked you for advice, you gave me the right advice, irrespective of whether you benefited from it or not. And that has been consistent throughout the 13 years that I've known you.
I think I can say respect. Respect in dealing with people who are customers, respect in people who are representing your company, because you pay your heart's attention to it, you pay your mind's attention to it.
For me, it's integrity in a really deep sense of the word, because I think whatever MUSA does, MUSA believes in. And I think that's what comes across and translates into trust. It translates into the innovation that he provides.
I know a lot of good words have been passed on here, and for me, I think it's authenticity. What they say they're going to do, they deliver. There's no shady part or phony part about it. It is what you see, it's what you get.
Well, for me, it's actually professionalism, in how I package, what I put in front of my client, in how I package myself. If people come in here, what do they walk away with? What do they see? To me, it's really professionalism, and I think that's what we're striving for, in everything that we do.